esports is catching up in that side of things, and I think that's only going to be fantastic for the scene as a whole. But yeah, let's introduce these two players.
Let's get it on. In the top left spawn position of Achelan Wastes, formerly of Team Dignitas, currently teamless, looking for a new team. Maddle said he has received a few offers, which he cannot really talk about. I mean, JonnyRecco, of course, cannot talk about it, and Maddles, he's not going to be telling us. He'll just be teasing us all day long. In the top left spawn position, it is JonnyRecco. And in the bottom right spawn position, playing for Team FX Open, the European division, it is FX Open's BabyKnight. Yeah, okay, so let's get this on, Maddles. We once again have a gateway in the main base out of BabyKnight, which seems to be his preferred way of playing on a map that has as much of a big ramp as this map has.
I like this style, to be honest. I think it's really, really effective. But ultimately, Recco should be able to expect this. BabyKnight does it every time he plays on Achelan Wastes, and therefore I don't think he's going to really get caught off guard by it. And ultimately, it's actually quite beneficial for a Zerg player, because while a third isn't terrible on this map, it's also not ideal, and you don't really want to get into a base rush where you're quickly taking a fourth either. So I think all in all, JonnyRecco should be fine with this. He's getting the gas early on, so even before he's scouted, he knows what's coming. You wouldn't get this gas unless you were planning on sticking on two bases for a while.
Good point you're making there, Maddles. As we see the second gas being taken by BabyKnight, so we are going to see that Mothership Core come out, maybe even a Stargate before he chucks down the Nexus. You can go for that Stargate before Nexus, but really the metagame has dictated that the Nexus goes down first, after that goes the Stargate in pretty much every matchup. I mean, you can do it versus Zerg, you can do it versus Terran. The build orders have really started to be a lot more solid for Protoss players, I feel, because the addition of the Mothership Core, you're not at risk as much when you're grabbing a bit of an earlier Nexus. I really love the Mothership Core, man. It's just so cool. Protoss, that's exactly what Protoss needed, the Mothership Core.
It's a bold statement to make, but I think the Mothership Core was the best addition to Heart of the Swarm.
Ooh, for a Protoss player, definitely.
No, it's just in the game. Like, for the game as a whole, I think it was the best addition in changing things up, making things more exciting, more fun to watch, because it means the Protoss players aren't all in when they're aggressive. They can take more risks, and that's always fun when you can make more calculated risks.
Yeah, calculated risk, that's the key here, Maddles. Going all in as a Protoss player, you used to be all in so quickly because you had nothing to fall back on. But that Mothership Core can transfer your entire army back home, and if it has full energy, you can use Photon Overcharge immediately to strengthen your defense.
Yep.
So it's such a nice ability to have.
We've got the Zealots going in. The Queen is going to take some damage, but gets out of the Time Warp. Quite a few Lings there. And I like the way JonnyRecco doesn't overreact to this. Mothership Core, though, is doing a nice amount of damage to the Queen, going head-to-head with the Zealots helping. We'll be able to take out that Queen, so that means the Mothership Core will be free to do more damage. With the second Queen coming out, that should spell the end to it.
Oh, and the Queen is gonna live. The Mothership Core is still alive. Is gonna have to be very careful. Only on 16 HP. Very nice micro by JonnyRecco there. I don't really think he lost much. He lost absolutely nothing. Not even a Zergling has gone down there, Maddles. 2 units lost. 200 minerals lost for BabyKnight. And JonnyRecco, he lost nothing. Perfect defense.
You can't really do much better than that.
No,
in terms of defending. Losing nothing is always a good way to start a game from aggression. Like, that is always positive. Now, as we see, the Lings are doing a nice little bit of damage. The force field, throw down the force field. Okay.
Nah, it's okay. He has 3 sentries, so these Zerglings are not much of a threat. Doesn't want to waste any energy at all.
Well, ultimately, JonnyRecco wasn't expecting to do that much damage. He was expecting to bait a force field. So, BabyKnight just playing a little bit risky there. He is getting the Stargate down, or additional gateways, but Recco, he's getting down his Rotor on his third base, and this is exactly what he wants. And with the Overlord, he's scouted everything. He knows what's coming, and he can now prepare precisely right.
Yep. Could get a Spore Crawler in his mineral line if he thinks that's needed. Knows the amount of gateways that are out on the field. Knows +1 is being researched. Probably the attack upgrade. That's what JonnyRecco is going to be thinking. Yeah, probably an attack upgrade, because defense upgrade first, rushing that doesn't really make a lot of sense unless you are hoping to use a lot of Zealots in a very early on attack, which is weird because Roaches. Anyway, it's going to be an attack upgrade. And a Void Ray is coming out. Wow, it's a Void Ray.
Void Rays are not something you usually see first. Phoenix, yes. No. Oracles, yes. Void Rays tend to be more mid and late game when you've got to deal with things like Corruptors. But for the moment... Pardon?
They can be produced when you want to go for an all-in.
Yep, they can, indeed. But ultimately, with those Spore Crawlers coming down, BabyKnight is going to have a bit of fun trying to push into this Recco. He's just droning, and his Zerglings do see this. A lot of sentries here. Did he actually spot the Void Ray?
No, he didn't. No, I was looking at his vision. I was like, oh, is he going to see it? No, the Void Ray was just far enough behind to not be able to get spotted. And now we see a Phoenix being hallucinated. That's going to be scouting out what's happening. What kind of tech's JonnyRecco going for? JonnyRecco is producing roaches right now, which is exactly what he needs against this army composition. Will need a Spore Crawler and a few Queens, and he does have those. So he's in a pretty okay position.
Yeah, he should be fine. I don't think he's got anything to worry about with so many roaches now in production. The Void Ray should get taken out. That Mothership Core, while it's got shields, has got incredibly low health. So that's something you've got to be very concerned about.
Yeah, it only has 60 shields, so a Queen is going to work through that so quickly. The Void Ray has now been seen, uses Prismatic Alignment immediately, and really not... Oh, a recall actually going down. Wow. Okay.
Well, ultimately, if you think back to game 1, when he pushed into the third, he didn't recall and lost a lot. So just probably being a little bit trigger happy on the get out safe button. So really wants to be incredibly
get out of jail
careful.
for free button.
Yeah, he does. No risks, which is fine. However, JonnyRecco is going to be happy with that. He was forced to make a couple of units, but with a couple of big drone waves, as we're seeing now, he should be absolutely ace. And with the hydrogen coming down, he shouldn't... Well, he's getting mid-game absolutely sorted.
Yeah, he is. He's a pretty good position for the mid-game. Looks like we have a little bit of lag complaints happening on the stream. Hopefully that will be sorted in just a second. Could be Twitch. Could be our end as well. We're gonna look to get that sorted immediately, guys. Might do a restart of the stream if problems are too severe. We'll have to see. But in the meantime, JonnyRecco is going to be taking himself a 4th base, and Johnny is going to see in just a... Well, actually, he's not going to see. Did he see that 3rd base?
I don't believe
he's got no idea.
No, and that's the only criticism I'd have of Rico's play at the moment, is his overlord placement isn't great. He's had to pull it back just due to the fact that the Stargate was down. So ultimately now he's getting down group spines. That's a more defensive option if you're going Hydras, because you don't have the option to retreat. But good creep spread all in all means that he's got a lot of area to work with. The macro hatch about to finish up, and with the infestation pit on its way, he's got options available to him, and it's really just teching nicely.
Oh, yeah, I hope we're going to see some Swarm Hosts. I hope it's so deeply... Swarm Hosts, so fun to watch. And JonnyRecco knows how to play Swarm Hosts. He knows how to play them so well. We've seen it time and time again at the ESET UK Masters Season 1 Finals just a week ago. But, you know, it's not really the unit composition that you would use when you go.
This is a good response if it is going to be Swarm Host, which with Enduring Locust getting
yes, it is.
Well, you've got the Templar Archives. You need Storm, because Storms kill Locusts, and then you can move in. Once you clean out the Locusts, as long as you're very assertive and really go for it, you can clear out Swarm Host very simply that way. But what Recco needs to do, and what he usually does without fail, is bring a couple of Overseers with him to snipe off any observers. Without an observer, do you know how easy it is to kill Swarm Hosts?
Very
near
difficult.
Impossible. It's near impossible. So that is all going to be bold, and there we go. Psionic Storm is researching.
Yeah, I like to think of dealing with Swarm Host in 2 ways. You can either go the Colossi way, which is the slow and steady way, or High Templars, which is the aggressive, pushing in, do it right now way. I mean, Storms, you're going to have only a few of them. You need to clear the Locust and then immediately blink on top of those Swarm Hosts, kill them off, and basically kill them before they can produce a 3rd and a 4th wave, because you're not going to be able to storm indefinitely. Whereas Colossus, you know, if you have 6 of them, they can just laser all day long.
Oh, BabyKnight cancelled Storm.
Interesting.
And it wasn't scouted, so he just chose to cancel it. So very interesting play. Clearly feeling like he can just move out and go for it now. But the Swarm Host already getting some Lucas moving across the map, dealing a nice little bit of damage. And with only the Archons, this is going to be quite tough to do, especially with 9 more Swarm Hosts about to pop.
And when he has those 9 extra Swarm Hosts, he's going to be maxed out. He already is, in fact, maxed out. And he's going to have a Swarm Host Roach army, mainly. I don't think he actually produced any Hydras, did he? No.
No, well, so that means he's got no way to deal with the Void Ray. But as long as the Void Ray...
the Void Ray?
The single Void Ray, the hero Void Ray.
Only one.
He should be fine. The Colossi are now in production. Extended Thermal Line's getting started, but look at these. The Swarm Host's getting closer and closer, and it's going to start being a bit of an issue.
Yep, we're gonna see that engagement start right now. I think as soon as BabyKnight realized he was going up against Swarm Host, he immediately switched tacks and went for the Colossi. He wants to deal with it that way. A lot of roaches are going down here, but JonnyRecco couldn't care less, really. I mean, his roaches are pretty much taking up supply that he wants to use for different things right now. He wants to get a few Hydras out on the field.
Yeah, those Hydras essential just to deal with any air units that do come out. Straight away knocking down that Overlord that was generating creep at the 4th base position. But JonnyRecco, he's on 5 hatches at the moment. He's maxed out. He's got a great bank, just under 3,000 minerals, over 1,000 gas. Everything he could want, and is now just pushing in towards the 3rd.
Oh my god, he's losing so many of his sentries! Oh, like 4 or 5 sentries going down there. And BabyKnight, he is not ready for this attack. He was not able to do any harm to the economy of BabyKnight, and even the War Prison that he has out on the field is being attacked right now. He was trying to drop a little bit, but oh my god, the Swarm Host, the Locust doing so much damage. The Locusts have 1/1 upgrade, so they do some good damage, and they can take a bit of a punch too.
Yeah, the Roaches pushing in towards the 3rd though. That is where some nice damage is being done. I like the prioritizing of the Assimilator. It just means the gas is going to be hampered. Some Vipers coming down as well, and that means Abducts, because abducting Colossi is the most fun
he could lose a
in
Colossus!
HOTS.
Oh my god, loses a Colossus to the Locust. This is not looking good for BabyKnight at all. He's been losing sentries all game long to the Locusts. And here comes another really big wave of Locusts, and BabyKnight is going to be forced to retreat towards his 4th base again. His 3rd base is still pretty vulnerable. He has 2 more Colossi on the way, but in a little bit, in about 20 to 30 seconds, there's going to be Vipers in his army composition too. And JonnyRecco, man, he's on a roll.
He is definitely on a roll, and the fact that he's actually containing BabyKnight up towards his 4th, while pushing him with just a few Locusts to the 3rd, is such a smart move. This Nexus is going to go down, and BabyKnight, he can't go get over there to defend it, because there's just too many Locusts there.
Look at that time warp. That might actually save his Nexus. Is it going to save his Nexus? Oh, it's going to be close. Yeah, the Nexus will stay alive, I think, with just a few HPs. And 153 is a few, but his 4th base is now vulnerable. He's being completely torn apart. As you can see, very difficult to defend your 3rd against an assault like this on this map.
Yeah, this is... But BabyKnight, JonnyRecco, he's achieved what he wanted here. He contained his opponent, bought himself time. He's now got Vipers out. Those Vipers, they are consuming a lot of Evolution Chambers at the moment. A lot of Abducts ready to grab those Colossi, and a couple of good Abducts, and straight away this army goes from looking quite scary to looking absolutely pathetic.
Which army?
BabyKnights.
I don't really agree. I actually think BabyKnight is getting in a better position every second that passes.
No, I was talking if once the Abducts go down, if they're good, then the Colossi aren't there anymore.
Oh, yeah,
without the
right.
Colossi, then suddenly it's not a dangerous army.
No, if the Colossi died, the Colossi are the backbone of this army. They are the units that made him break the contain, but now with the Vipers here, there's about 1 Viper per Colossi, so they could get a lot of good abducts. They're all full energy, or really close to full energy. The Locust just spawning a new big wave. Oh my god, the Swarm Host in a perfect position. Here come the abducts, and aim
just in time with the Locust. That was brilliant timing there.
Well, it was brilliant timing, but only 1 or 2 Colossi went down there, and a few good feedbacks were had by BabyKnight, who's actually doing a really good job here. I have to give him that. A lot of Hydras have died off, only a single Viper left remaining, and JonnyRecco has to be careful. He's pretty much on pure Swarm Host here, and Swarm Host can be very, very vulnerable.
Some Hydras are coming in though towards the 3rd base, focusing down the Mothership Core, or was going to focus down the Mothership Core, now just going straight for the Nexus, which is the right choice. Knocks it out, that knocks BabyKnight back down to just 2 mining bases. His main is mined out, and that just means JonnyRecco's in a nice spot. He's pulling back, he knows his opponent isn't going to be able to do too much, and as long as he engages safely, he's going to be in a nice position.
Yeah, he is. This is so similar to what we saw at I-48. It's insane, man. I feel like I've seen this game before. That's how similar it is to things that we have seen happening. It is really textbook Protoss versus Zerg on this map. Swarm Host so good at attacking the 4th and the 3rd base at the same time. JonnyRecco pulling back at the right time is going to be transitioning into Hive Tech, as he felt he has now done enough damage with his Swarm Host. He has established himself an advantage. He is going up to 6 bases. He is on 6 bases. That's sick.
Yeah, he's just completely macroing out. He's got 82 drones. He can start looking to lose some of those drones now. So with the bank as well. Have you noticed he's got 10,000 minerals?
Yeah, he's got a lot of money in the bank. I actually didn't notice that yet. I noticed it when it was like a 9k, but 11k, 10k looks really, really impressive. He really needs some spot. Oh, Swarm Host, where are you going, guys? That's a little bit risky. Maybe a little bit too
nice
aggressive.
Cloud there. forcing the Stalkers back, can't push forward, and this is just really JonnyRecco piecing this apart, using the Hydras very effectively as well. I like this Hydra plane as well.
Oh, the High Templar in the back, the High Templar in the back. Storm, do something! Archon, Archon! Oh no, he loses them. Oh.
That is never fun when you lose High Templar for nothing. These Hydras at the 4th as well, doing a nice little bit of damage, and this was the design principle about making Hydras have that move speed upgrade, was they could go and harass and poke around and prod, and that's exactly how Rico's using them at the moment. He's also getting down some Spine Crawlers. His Ultralisk Cavern is complete. He's got the Chitinous Plating and the 3-3, or rather the 1-3 upgrades coming down, so he can remax whenever he wants, but currently just getting more and more Swarm Hosts.
Yeah, I love how he's just sticking with that. I did see the Ultralisk Cavern go down, I believe, so he does have a follow-up in case he ends up losing all of his Swarm Host. He's going to be able to remax on Ultras because he has a lot of gas. It's getting Chitinous Plating, and are we going to see some Abducts? Yes, we are, but that's not going to achieve much. Kills 1 Colossi, but loses a few Vipers in the process. I believe 2 went down there, and a few got feedback.
Yeah, well, BabyKnight, he's got amazing feedbacks. We saw it at ESET UK Masters Finals. He got some great feedbacks on many Vipers, so he is solid at doing it, but these Abducts are just going to keep coming down, and there's those feedback popping to Vipers straight away, and suddenly BabyKnight, he is getting contained, but Recco, he's happy with that because he's just building up more and more of a bank.
Uh-oh, I think we're going to get in a bit of a difficult situation for Recco. He is going to have to retreat. Yes, he has. He just spawned an enormous wave of locusts and killed so much of BabyKnight's stuff, and BabyKnight now knows it is that time to move forward. He is going to be blinking forward as soon as it's finished up there. Blink finishes. Bam, there he goes. Blinks up, snipes. 1, 2... No, not quite the second one, but is finally able to kill some of those Swarm Hosts, which has been so difficult for him at the mid-game and in the early game.
Yeah, but to the same extent, BabyKnight, while he's killing off the Swarm Host, Recco is just ready to hold down the Ultralisk button.
Yep, he is. He's only produced 1 right now, but he doesn't want to give his Swarm Hosts away just yet. I mean, if the Protoss has too many units left standing, it could be difficult for him to get the situation under control. But his Swarm Hosts are really getting chased down. They are going to be spawning Locusts in just a second. There they go. Their eggs are hatching on top of their backs, but the Protoss army is now on top of them, and the Swarm Hosts are in a lot of trouble. They are slowly going to go down, but for every Swarm Host that dies, an Ultralisk comes into its place.
That is a good trade. Like, that seems like an upgrade they put in the campaign. That is how good it is. But
and look at that. Every time one Swarm Host dies, another Ultralisk enters the production tab.
It's like, oh, I've lost the Swarm Host, better make an Ultralisk. And
yeah, I've got another 3,000 gas in the bank because, well, Swarm Hosts just cost a little bit of minerals to produce, but they don't cost any minerals to use Locusts. So that's why he has the insane bank that he currently does. A few Banelings on the way, which is an interesting decision.
Why not? Why on earth not? Might as well get some. And of course, now comes the Ultras. They're coming from behind. BabyKnight is probably not going to be expecting this, to be fair.
He cannot engage. JonnyRecco cannot engage yet. He has to wait. If he engages now, he's going to lose everything. No. JonnyRecco needs to get out of here. There's an Immortal in there and a Void Ray doing so much damage. This was a bad move by JonnyRecco. The BabyKnight is definitely back into this game. 12 Ultralisk now on the production tab, but there are so many Colossi left. They have really good upgrades. 3-2-1 upgrades, 13 Ultralisks on the way, and now double Immortal production is coming out of BabyKnight. This is such a close game all of a sudden, Maddles.
Yeah, that was a bad engagement. What Recco was hoping to do was get an Abduct down, pull some Colossi into the Ultras, but he didn't commit on the first move in when I thought he was going to go, and that gave BabyKnight time to reposition and obviously deal with it very, very effectively. So now, really, Recco has to be careful not to get into a late game situation he can't win, because he really was ahead all of this game, and the concern is just that what if BabyKnight gets that unkillable death ball?
That's true, but the unkillable death ball is of course not as unkillable as it was at the start of Wings of Liberty, because there's no longer that vortex. The mothership is changed, and we hardly ever see that coming out anymore, as we see BabyKnight maybe moving out. He's trying to get a 5th base on the right side of the map, as we see some Zerglings going into the 4th base of BabyKnight, trying to do as much damage as they can. Could potentially be the 3rd base, depends on how you want to look at things.
Yeah, well, currently the Ultras are going to go and clear out the top of the map. This Nexus is not going to survive very long. The Ultras are only at 1-5 upgrade, so that in itself is a bit of a problem, because he needs definitely a bit more attack, because he got all of the missile attack upgrades. So currently this is just going to be an expansion for an expansion. Both players at the opposite side of the map. Recco's going to have to get back to try and defend this, but as we can see, he's just pumping Ultralisk after Ultralisk.
He's losing a lot here, actually. It's going to be down to only one mining base. But really, he's got a huge bank, so it's not the biggest of deals. But he has to find some way to deal with this big Protoss army. Very low worker count, by the way. Actually, he has 63 workers. Where are they?
They're just chilling. They're just chilling
Where
around.
are they? Really? Look at this.
They're all at the natural. They were all at the natural, pretty much. And now they're transferring down to the north.
Oh, there they are.
We've got a bit of an engagement coming down here in the center of the map. The Ultras are starting to move forward. So the Storm's going down, clearing out a couple of the Banelings. But a good angle of attack for JonnyRecco here, completely surrounding most of this army. But a blink back means that the Immortals are left vulnerable. They're the big threat to the Ultras. The Colossi at the back dealing some nice damage, but 12 more Ultralists in production behind this. Recco spending that big bank, and the Colossi are starting to die. So this remax is really going to be difficult for BabyKnight to deal with.
It's going to be very, very difficult. The last Ultralisks are about to bite the dust. One is remaining. Oh, these queens could actually save the Ultralisk if they spend all their energy. There we go, healing the tank as the Ultralisk is trying to kill a few more of those Colossi and or Stalkers. Not quite going to be able to get that many more kills, but the Remax, that's the dangerous part right now. 14 Ultralisks about to hit the field. And BabyKnight, he's producing Colossi 2 at a time, which is, you know, not what you need.
Yeah, definitely some Immortals would be good in this situation, but Recco, he is just pumping units. He's spent all of his bank now, all of the gas has gone. He's only got 2,000 minerals, which is nothing compared to the trust fund he built up earlier. He is doing worse than Paris Hilton right now, and luckily though, he looks to be winning this game because he's got just so many units, he's got the supply advantage, and if he gets a good attack angle, he will be fine.
Yeah, it's all about the attack angle right now. He should be able to take this engagement. A Storm goes down onto 2 Ultralists. That's not going to do too much. And this is a great engagement for JonnyRecco. He is running through this army. The hallucinated Immortals are not going to be able to make the difference. And BabyKnight kind of misjudged the situation. He really needed more Immortals earlier on, because Colossi, of course, not going to be able to AoE at those Ultralisks as easily as they can with other units. One Zealot bravely trying to work away at the base of JonnyRecco at the left side of the map, but the resource starvation, that's what is becoming an issue right now for BabyKnight. He only has a few mineral patches remaining at the third on the right side, whereas his left base has a decent amount of minerals left, but JonnyRecco still has a lot of mining bases.
Yep, he's just basically taken the swarm. He's decided that I'll get all of the bases, all of the income, all of the resources. I want my trust fund back, and is just pushing forward with his Ultralisk, knowing he can resupply. BabyKnight just down to about 100 supply, those Colossi being micro to the max, but unfortunately the Ultras are just om-nomming their way through everything.
As we see a time warp go down, does it work on massive units? I don't think it does. No, look at that.
I don't believe it does.
So that's a bit of a wasted energy there. Might have used that on a photo of an overcharge, as BabyKnight is trying to keep this base alive. He will not succeed in doing so. A lot of Ultralisks are going to fall here. 1, 2, 3, burning down as a few Immortals are now going to be popping out. BabyKnight is not giving up just yet, because JonnyRecco, he doesn't have that much minerals in the bank anymore either. He's a pretty low bank, but BabyKnight
has a lower bank.
Yeah, he's got an even lower bank. He's got 75 minerals to his name right now.
Yeah, he's not got enough resources, basically. And that's what it comes down to. If you have more stuff, you tend to win, and that is what JonnyRecco is proving here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just nice and simple. Were you having a drink there by any chance, Lely?
No, I was looking at chat, and someone asked, how could BabyKnight have dealt better with the Swarm Host ball? And I don't think he could have. He dealt with that perfectly. I mean, nah.
Nope, if you get, that is how you deal with it. If you get that many locusts, get a couple of storms, storm the locusts, move forward, kill all the swarm hosts. That's how you break the contain.
Okay, so Maddles, he's got the solution to the swarm host problem.
It's like it's a one-trick pony. You have to land the storm as
well.
Why?
That's what I talked about. You know, it's that really aggressive way of dealing with the swarm hosts. You have to take them out in that attack, because if you don't, you're out of energy, and the next wave of swarm locust comes and kills your entire army. So it is the way that BabyKnight is doing it is the safe and steady way, I'd say.
But unfortunately, he's a long way behind at the moment. These Ultras just really om-nomming their way through cannons. They're just pushing forward. Some going to go down, but ultimately, just more reinforcements coming in, streaming through. If JonnyRecco knocks out this base, BabyKnight's going to be in just such a huge amount of trouble. He's already got an incredibly low income. JonnyRecco's just pumping loads and loads of units. He's got a high income, he's got lots of bases. Good abducts going down, Archons there as well, just like, you know what, I'm going to kill everything.
Oh, that was funny to see those Archons get abducted, and JonnyRecco is really tearing BabyKnight apart. Where do I have to defend my third, my fourth, my third, my fourth? He's running back and forth, and it looks like One Immortal is actually going to save the base on the left for BabyKnight, but JonnyRecco is once again maxed out. He's starting to build a bank again, and he's just waiting for the last attack out of BabyKnight, because he's going to be starved on resources. His bases are going to mine out in a few minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of an impossible situation now for BabyKnight because he's under 100 supply. He does have a couple of Colossi, but now here comes the Ultras. Those Colossi have got nowhere to back away to. There's no cliff they can climb up in order to get to safety, so that just means the Ultras can keep marching forward. The Photon Overcharge is trying to deal with some damage, but as we're seeing, the Ultras just are slowly going to catch up. BabyKnight doing the best he can, but down to only 70 supply now. 3 Colossi remaining, and they will be able to get back up to the natural. So a good bit of micro there, but the Nexus is going to fall.
Yep, that's going to be the end of the Nexus and probably the end of the game for BabyKnight. He's at 49 supply, and he should realize that his situation is futile right now. He is hanging on. He's showing why he's such a good player, but it's
just. I'm going to ask our observer in production just to bring up the income tab. Too late. I'm going to basically the income at that last point in the game. It was 2,500 minerals a minute for JonnyRecco compared to just 400 of BabyKnight, and 700 gas a minute compared to 100 of BabyKnight. So it's not a case of Zerg OP or Swarm host OP. Recco, he did exactly the right thing. He put on pressure, had a soft contain with Swarm hosts, and expanded like mad behind it to get a great big bank where he could just pump units after units